You know exactly what this is. This is the Axie Origin week, and today we have some more leaks coming in from Shade. This is episode 6 from the Guillotine Post, posted just 23 hours ago, and we will be looking into Axie Origin and the leaks that we can get from this article and see what else Axie Origin has came up with for the alpha season. Now, the first question, will runes and charms will be in the alpha? We already know that will happen, as we have seen yesterday the leak of neutral runes and charms, but also this week we will be getting all of the classes runes and charms. I can see crit on the trailer. I have seen that too. I've even posted on my Twitter, but there is not crits anymore. It will only happen in fury mode, so I guess it's just like a little bit of an extra damage coming in from the fury form that is regarded to as crit. Can we play Origin on Mac? Yes, you will be able to. Probably not at launch, as they have already mentioned it is on Mavis Hub. I'm not sure if that... Maybe, yeah, on desktop PC on Mavis Hub, so I think Mac OS also goes under that category. And mobile phones probably later on. Can we use Oleg and friends in the arena? So starter Axies, this is what this is referring to. There should be starter Axies for new players to come into the game, whether that's Oleg, which is the plant, or Boba the beast. There should be some of them or plenty of them for each class, and people can test out before they join the game. And Shade has replied to that question, yes you can, but they will get demolished by triple aquas. Now that is interesting. Looks like Shade has been playing some triple aquas himself, and that might be useful because there's a couple of couple of cards that scale with the aqua body. So if you're running 3, you will be dealing a little bit more damage, and we've also seen the runes and charms that help you if you are using pure Axies. So interesting to see. The one question that I'm asking is whether starter Axies will be as good as the normal Axies, because will it be just like a trailer that you can get into the game, check it out, but you still have to buy the NFTs, or whether you can actually successfully use starter Axies. Does the reptile show in the trailer is using Chump? My Termi will look like that, and Machito or Machito is a starter Axies. So we have another leak from the starter Axies, and this one is a reptile. No more souls after death staying around in Origin, so it looks like there won't be any animations. Once you get rid of an Axie, it will just disappear, and they need room for summons, right? So if you're running a summon team or a summon card, you can place that summon instead of an Axie that has just died, rather than having those souls floating around. I mean, they weren't adding much into the game anyway, so there's no need to keep them in there. In the trailer, why did Soulstar bypass those 2 Axies? Is there a charm attached to it? The Axie in the back had taunt, and if you see a card with a blue border, that means a charm is attached to it. So that's how you can tell whether a charm is attached to a card. You have to see a blue border. So another leak, if you are analyzing a replay, you can see whether someone has attached a charm to a card or not, if it's dealing more damage, or if it has bypassed some of your Axies. Then you can find out whether that was a charm or not by checking the border status. If the initial card is a backdoor, like Shrimp, does the second attack card of the Axie who uses Shrimp will also attack the furthest target, or go back to front? And Shade says front, so Shrimp Axies might not be as good anymore in Origin, right? Because the thing about running Shrimp is that you use the Shrimp to target the furthest Axie, but then you have to follow up with normal cards, right? And if you use 4 of them, you can kill something like the mech or a beast. But with Origin, it looks like your next card will be going back to front. So unless you can give that Axie on the back taunt, or it has taunt already, the rest of your cards will not follow up. You said in Twitter that there are 1 potential point cost charms, so why do you say that the secret classes can't equip their charms? And Shade says there are neutral class charms that are 1 potential point, but there are no class specific charms that are less than 2 potential point costs. So that is making the strategy a little bit more difficult, because you can't equip a class specific charm that is less than 2 potential points, and if you don't have a pure Axie, you will be struggling for those potential points. So that can make it difficult to create the optimal Axie, but then you can still power it up with the neutral charms, and those neutrals will usually be a little bit less effective. I would assume that, but maybe not. We will have to see and find out. Some of the neutral runes that we have seen, which are mystic, were quite good, like the attack, like the 15% damage and attack boost that you get from equipping that rune. Remember that you can only wear 1 rune per Axie, but you can wear up to 6 charms. Damage boosts and healing boosts stack forever, and that is confirmed. So maybe there is some space to experiment there with having an Axie that can just stack infinite damage boosts and deal some lethal damage with a couple of cards. To equip Mystic Charm, which is the highest and the strongest you need, 15 potential points. To equip one Mystic Charm, you only need 4 of the same class parts, because 4 matching class parts give you +2 purity bonus, so that is 6 potential points. So you will need 4 of the same class parts. So let's say you have a reptile that has the eyes and then ears from a bird, you will still be able to equip one Mystic Charm, as it will have 6 potential points from a reptile. Does the shield carry over to the next round? No. Okay, that is a big leak. That is information that we needed. So what do we do with shield cards right now? Because if someone doesn't attack your Axie when you play in shield, is that shield useless? Is it completely useless? Or how will the mechanic work around that? Because if someone doesn't attack you, well, what happens then? Shades, can you clarify the Endless Anger Rune? Shades, can you classify the Endless Anger Rune? The 3 rage is given at the start of each turn. That would mean the Fury form guaranteed at our turn 4, no matter how many rage cards our beasts have equipped. That doesn't make sense then. You read that right. Good luck getting that rune though. Imagine triple beast team all have Endless Anger +1 rage skill. You can have turn 1 Fury. Wow. Good luck getting that rune. Okay, let's see how hard it is to actually get a rune. Maybe you have to pass some adventure level. Maybe you have to spend a crap ton of SLP. We'll have to see how runes actually work. But him saying that is interesting. It's definitely interesting. Maybe it is insanely difficult to get those mystic runes. Imagine triple beast team all having Endless Anger, so you can equip the same rune 3 times for every Axie, and then you have 1 rage skill. You can have Fury turn 1. That seems like an insane idea, and the first person that probably gets it will be winning quite a lot of matches. Topaz is underwhelming. Prove me wrong. Haha, Topaz is so good. Okay, maybe they have a team that Topaz makes Topaz good. Topaz is a card from the reptile that has like 25 damage, but gets something if you play enough cards or something like that. When can we see how our Axies will look in Origin? You will see them at launch, so that is 7th of April for anyone that has been out of the loop. We are currently in the Axie Origin week, and April 7th we will see the official launch. You'll notice on the video there's a reptile with 505 HP, so not all Axies will have 320 HP. Runes and charms, that's what Post 2 says. Now, runes and charms will be affecting health, and 200 extra health on a reptile seems like quite a lot. So I expect plant and reptile cards or reptile runes and charms to be affecting health quite a lot, especially the plant ones. You can probably get up to like 550, that would be my assumption. Maybe you have some mystic ones that increase percentage wise, so the more flat HP increased charms that you get, the more percentage you will get from the rune. We will have to see about that, but getting a frontline with 500 HP doesn't seem that bad after all, especially that all cards deal about 60 damage. Then killing something that has 500 HP definitely can take a while, especially if we only get 3 energy per round. Can we summon 3 same class types like triple or Robin summon? Yes, you can. What is stamina? Is that a new term for energy? That is indeed. Okay, so no longer energy. We will be referring to that as stamina now. And there is a new mechanic called Rune Spirits. Now, they haven't explained what that is, but we will have to see what this exactly means. I actually have no idea what that could mean. If you guys have any idea, let me know in the comment section down below, because I can't even think of what that might be referring to. If Origin is mature enough, is our progress during Alpha will be reset along the official release of Origin? Yes, it will be reset. Okay, so it's just a test period before SLP mechanics are introduced, just to see what might work, what is unbalanced, what should be rebalanced. So trying your best to achieve the best result in Alpha is definitely not worth it, because your assets will be reset, and you probably won't make money from that. So just something to think about, right? One Axie equals 2 or more of the same charm. And can you disassemble it for recrafting? Yes, this is possible. You can disassemble them, but you will not get the full amount of what you initially used them to craft. Okay, so I assume that to be maybe 90% return, depending on the value that they go with. But let's say it cost you 1000 SLP to get a rune or a charm, you will get back 90% of that. Or for the starter game, I think it's moon shards that they are referring to, but I think they will be moving to SLP. That's the one that makes the most sense to have an SLP burning mechanics, especially on runes and charms. Can we unequip equip the crafted runes and charms to transfer to another Axie? Yes. So if you have a very good rune, it will not be attached to just one Axie. If you have plenty of Axies that you think could effectively use a rune, you can definitely transfer that over, then create some new teams. As we equip, does it eat up the potential points? For charms, yes, and the user interface will show how much potential points you have left. Now this question is interesting. They have previously said that it might be hard to get runes and charms. So the question is, based on what you are implying, it will be hard to get runes and charms. Realistically speaking, will you be able to craft and equip charms and runes for all of your Axies within a season? Possibly yes, so already not a very definitive answer. Runes have rarity. Some common runes are very easy to get. The rarest one, like Endless Anger, are really difficult to have. So we'll see whether it's like percentage wise very difficult to obtain through crafting because you have to use a lot of resources, or is it incredibly difficult to get because you have to beat, let's say, 100 levels of adventure mode. We're not really sure what that might mean right now, but the mystic runes might be hard to get, and people that do get them will probably have an advantage. And another good follow-up question: is the difficulty related to price in SLP? Do we have to pay and spend more SLP to get the good runes? Because then it's moving towards the pay to win a little bit, right? Or is there some randomness on finding good runes? And Pause says there is randomness, and there are items that can increase the chance of you getting a rune or a charm or rarity. Runes don't have points requirement, right? None. You just need to install them to get to the correct class type. Runes and charms, are they consumable or can be used for the whole season? You can use them for the whole season, so it's not going to be like potions in Slay the Spire where you use them during a fight and then you have to replenish them. You can disenchant them, but you will not get the full amount of the initial ingredients you use for crafting. So again, if you use, I guess it will be a mixture of SLP and moon shards, and you will not get back all of them if you disenchant a rune. And so after the season ends, they will expire and we'll have to craft them again. Some will expire, some will be carried over. Okay, so maybe the ones that you actually spend quite a lot crafting, like the rare ones, will be staying over. But then again, does that make sense? Because everyone will be striving to get those rare ones, and if they carry over, you then don't have to spend any SLP to make them again in the new season. So I'm not sure how that will be. Work out in the game itself. Also, crafting the rune will provide a random rune, or you can choose what you want to craft. There will be RNG, and there will be items that will increase your chances though. Interesting. So how do you obtain those items that increase your chances is another question that we might want to ask. There will be a way to identify in the battle which runes charms the enemy has before encountering the effect. I already had them memorized right now, but yeah, you can click on the Axie and you will know if they have runes and charms installed. Okay, so they already memorized them, so making it seem like it's not that hard to memorize if you just play the game long enough. So there's probably some visual effect to see on the Axie. Same with the cards that we have right now. That's the way I assume that will work. But if you can just click on them, you can check through what they have and what kind of team you are going up against. Like in the V2 with the cards. Yeah, and the runes indicate with the hexagon above the Axie. Okay. Will my low purity Axie not have access to the stronger runes? Runes depend on the body class type, so no potential points needed. So potential points allow you to equip charms, and that's it. Runes, if you have the most OP rune in the game, you can equip that on pretty much any Axie, if that's the neutral, or if it's class dependent, then obviously to the class. Are charms and runes tradable in the marketplace? The NFT runes and charms will be. Okay, so it looks like you will have some that are not and some that will be. Again, the person that gets the hands on the most rare, most epic rune will probably make quite a lot of profit early in the game, or they will have quite a big advantage when it comes to playing Axie in tournaments, which again is going to, like, whoever spends the most buying the best runes that are possible probably will have an advantage. But with the amount of combinations that we have in the game, that will probably not be an easy task to do. Can't wait to get an endless anger rune and sell it for 420 ETH. Based on the rune name, I suppose your Axie is at infinite rage status, meaning unlimited criticals. When your Axie is in Fury mode, the damage of the Axie will be ×2 until the end of the term. So Chubby is kind of like Urnero's old, not sure what that means. But ×2 seems quite a lot, especially that he hinted that you can possibly get that in round 1 if you have the right setup, although that setup will not be easy to obtain. It's technically possible, so the person that has their hands on this setup can get Fury in round 1, allowing you to strike for ×2 damage every single card in that turn. So if you have 0 cost that strike, if you have a 2 cost that might be dealing quite a lot of damage, and getting that ×2 seems like quite a lot. I'm hoping that there will be in-game tutorials. It will suck teaching every scholar again. There's a tutorial, everything will be unlocked by doing the tutorial. Hopefully the tutorial won't be skipped. You can't skip the tutorial. They won't be able to play arena immediately. Okay, so that's good. You don't really have to teach the scholars from the start, and then you have to pass the tutorial. So just like in any other game that has some sort of a mechanic that you need to learn before you jump into the game. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below, what are you most excited for when it comes to runes and charms. And also thank you very much to Guillotine as well as Shade and Posture for doing this Q&A and answering those questions about the runes and charms that we are all patiently waiting for. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily playthrough content, and I will see you in the next one.